So today, everybody is thinking what the economy is going to look like and our role in the economy for us, and if not for us, for sure for our kids or the next generation to continue the prosperity that Canada has enjoyed in the past. So different eras require kind of different strategies, right? You can go back in history and see what worked, what didn't work in a particular era or a particular place and learn from that. And then you marry that with the promise of what Canada's about and try to think of how can you create a strategy that also fits with the promise that's of Canada. And it has to fit because at the end of the day, we're all a collection of individual people. We love this country because of the life and the opportunity that it provides us and the vision of what a Canadian dream is. So when we think about that at its very basic level, it's a free country. You can come here from anywhere in the world and you can become Canadian, especially if you say, please and thank you and stand in line, as my book's title says, and you can be Canadian. And that idea that we can come here and be in a society of equals, that it doesn't matter who we are, and it will never determine what we can be, and that we think about preserving that individual opportunity and dream for each one of us. And then we think about what technology, what the future of the economy, domestically and globally will look like. You've got to put a strategy on top of that. So in today's era, when you're thinking about the power of technology, the power of a computer, the power of a mobile device, and being able to connect with people all over the world in an instant, and we think of the power of ideas, which can be communicated now instantly, and the biggest marketplace of ideas is now open, and we think about how we're going to invest our money and our time in building an economy that caters to that, to what our dream is, what our aspirations are, what Canada's about, what technology offers in the moment, in the 21st century, and what markets are going to look like. They're going to be bigger rather than smaller. We know we need a strategy that focuses on the individual rather than on industry. In the past, it was about producing all these goods, producing cars and refrigerators and all of those things, which remain absolutely important. But technology has also allowed us to make more with less, so they need less of us to do that. But we still need those things. So what's everybody else going to do? Well, everybody else is going to do something really important. They're going to be able to unlock the power of their ideas and the power of their passions and their productivity. That's what everybody else is going to do. So how do you do that? How do you make sure that everybody can plug in? It's very simple. We need to get technology in the hands of everybody. Just like we're talking here. There is content we're creating. We hope it'll be valuable. There's a collection of us working on it that will hopefully give ideas to others to inspire them to do the best that they can and make the most of their potential. We're creating hopefully value, and we're doing it using technology. So I used to drive to work. Now we log into work. We built highways so people could do what? So they could drive to work. So now, same thing, we need to build these broadband highways so people can log into work. And their work isn't necessarily going to be with some big company. God bless them all. They're fantastic. There is a place and obviously a relevance that continues for them. But for a lot of us, it's going to be reliving that Canadian dream and saying, the power of my ideas, they are maybe unique. They are maybe cutting edge. They are innovative. All I need is a shot. And that's what fundamentally the Canadian dream is all about, is we're all given a fair shot. Guaranteed an opportunity, not necessarily an outcome, but even that opportunity and that journey of that opportunity is enough for us to enjoy a beautiful, peaceful, and prosperous life. And when we always try to think about what the value of power of ideas really is, then we reflect on our own experiences or things that we have seen. So when we think, like many generations, I'm sure in the past, that we've got all the great ideas. Like, what more could come? There's a story or something in the past. The U.S. Patent Office, thought these are, the best ideas we're ever going to have, and there's not going to be anything more. What could come in the door? And then we look at how history unfolds, and we think of today's greatest innovations, for example. So when people say we have enough people, we have enough ideas, and we got it, we're just going to work with what we got. Think about this. Today, you have companies like these big tech companies, which, have their issues, but they've sure created lots of value as well. And they're incredible innovations. They created new markets. And we think of who started them. It wasn't the Kennedys and the Vanderbilts and the Rockefellers, those old great families. It was names we never heard of before. Zuckerberg and Bezos and Jobs, completely new people. It doesn't work like that. Ideas, just because you had one great idea yesterday, that you're going to have another great idea tomorrow. So that's why we always need that renewal and that fresh blood coming in. The second part of it is ensuring that those ideas that we have, they get into the marketplace, and there is this push to innovate. And innovation always involves leadership, because it means you're creating something that wasn't. And when you're creating something that wasn't, you can't look back and say, there's a sales record. There isn't, by definition. You're seeing something that other people don't see. In my own life, I look at my experience when I was in the United Arab Emirates and spent time in Dubai, and I went there the first time 20 years ago. And there was this innovative kind of startup country. They were trying to get them wean themselves off of oil. And I got to that airport, and there was these big signs that said, the modern Dubai, and East meets West, and it's where the world comes together. And I went outside, and there was like a couple of really nice hotels and stuff. And it looked kind of cool, but I'm like, I don't know, that's a big order to fill. Good luck with that. There's probably a media company that was paid a lot of money to come up with that. Is it really going to be? And then as I kept going there successively and ultimately opened offices there with a law firm, the first Canadian offices there, you saw that not only was the idea great to try to take this old economy and turn it into a modern, innovative economy, which in itself is great, they also benefited from timing. So sometimes a good idea can be ahead of its time, behind its time. It was a time when the world, East and West, were kind of to converge. You had other trends. You had the greatest transfer of wealth from West to East in history. And they needed, people genuinely, guess what they needed? A meeting place, a place that was familiar and comfortable and had logistics that could accommodate everybody coming and going. And then this media campaign and this narrative became a reality. So then you can come back and say it's chicken and egg. Which was it? A great idea, great timing, no one will ever know. But that is the magic mixture of how innovation works. And when people are bold and they're given opportunity and they have access to markets and the time is right, that they can take something absolutely to another level, to a level that people never dreamt of, and give them something they didn't even know they needed. And that's how you create wealth for the next generation, and you make something almost out of nothing, which we call the power of ideas.